Good morning, YouTube. This is Eddie Berrios from the Bronx. Today is Sunday the 12th. Yesterday was September 11th. I'm sure everybody watched the news and watched the ceremony for the 9/11 victims. And it's always a sad day to think about and to see. And frankly, being an American, to me, it's very unbelievable that that even happened the way it happened. Now, I'm going to talk about something that nobody has spoken yet, at least that I have not heard yet. My question is, how does 100 plus Americans on each of those planes let two terrorists each take over the plane with box cutters? They didn't take over these planes with bombs. They didn't take over these planes with huge knives. They didn't take over these planes with guns. Box cutters. More than 100 people on each plane. And they let these guys take these planes with box cutters. With the exception of one plane, according to the story, they overpowered the terrorist and the plane crashed into a field. Personally, they should have never made it to the cockpit. Not with box cutters. You know, Americans like to fancy themselves the toughest people and the baddest asses in the world. I hear mostly a lot of Americans talk that crap, especially white Americans. We're the baddest. We will beat down any country. We have the greatest army. We're the toughest people, blah, 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 blah. But they let the plane get taken over by two guys with box cutters. Now, I asked my people of color, and it's going to sound like a racial thing, but in a way, it kind of is. I mean, it's obvious that the majority of these people on these planes were white Americans, and I guess they were scared to get a little cut from a box cutter. But you think about it. If all these people would have attacked these dudes right away and just jumped on them, how many people would have they been able to actually cut? And if you did get cut, it's a box cutter. You still have your life, but you have a couple of stitches. Like I said, they shouldn't have reached the cockpit with box cutters. None of this 9/11 thing would have occurred if the people on that plane would have got up and fought back. Like I said, Americans fancy themselves to be tough. They talk about how weak other countries are compared to us. And they let them take over 3 planes with box cutters. And not only the plane on the people died, the people at the World Trade Center buildings died because no one did nothing. No one's talking about this. No one's talking about it. I've been thinking about this for years. I've always thought that, let's imagine this was a plane going to an African country or going to a Latin American country, going to Puerto Rico or Santo Domingo or something like that. Would the outcome be different? Would the people on those planes kick the shit out of those terrorists with box cutters? I believe so, because I would have been one of them. I would have just told everybody, jump them. Jump them, there's nothing they can do. But no. The fear kicked in. Everybody, I guess, was scared to get cut. And they let terrorists take over planes with box cutters. It's something to think about, people. Something to think about. Again, more than 100 people. More than 100 people on each plane. And they let these guys take it over with box cutters. It's food for thought. Eddie Berrios from the Bronx. Peace out.